Okay, guys. For those of us coming newly today to this class, my name is Kehinde Osibote. Kehinde Osibote. Sorry, this is not writing properly, but let's just yeah. This is Osibote. Yeah. Yeah, I'm an instructor with a licensed instructor with SIA, and a little bit about my background. I work with Network Rail as a compliance construction manager, and I also train as a lawyer. And I've been in the security industry since 2007. So it's quite a long time. So I've worked as door supervisors, security guards, I've done bodyguards, I've done retail, I've done almost everything. But presently now I trade. So the fact that you stand on the door today does not mean you can't find yourself training tomorrow. It all depends on your interest. So don't think this is just about security. There are lots of opportunities. You can rise up to become a security consultant tomorrow. All right? Now, for those of us that are just coming today, I think I know a few names. What's the name?
Mohammed.
Mohammed?
Mohammed Abraham.
And what do you do?
Security.
Okay. Yes?
I'm Natasha, and work as concierge.
Nadasha?
Yeah.
All right. Yes? Richard?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you do? Okay, and yourself?
I'm carrying on now, responsible.
Response man?
Right.
Okay, driver. Okay.
Classes.
What's the name?
Classes.
Abdulaziz. Okay, and?
David, on now for work.
Okay, David Onafokan. Yeah, pardon me if at any point in time I need to call your name and I cannot remember. Please pardon me. I may have to just say you or point at you. I'm not being rude. It's just that I see many faces almost every day. I can't remember them, so I'm really sorry about that. Yes, we're going to be doing physical intervention training today as part of your door supervisor's course. And in this class today, if at any point you don't understand me, either by my pronunciation or I'm too fast for you, please feel free to ask questions, feel free to stop me, and I will explain to you. All right? You have paid so much money to be here. Make sure you have value. It's not just having the license, but it's good to know what it takes to be a doorman, right?
Or woman.
And door woman. You can see that, yeah? You can see that. Right. Thank you for reminding me, yeah? Yes, that is why in SIA there's no door woman or doorman. Door supervision, door supervisors, security guard. All right? Okay, good. So we're gonna move on. Can anybody tell me here? Some of us are doing top up, right?
Alright.
Yes.
So we have some experience, and some are just starting, right? Okay. Can anybody tell me what is meant by physical intervention?
Step in and physically.
Just signify, raise up and tell us what you understand by physical intervention. Yes?
It's a way of body appearance between the customer and the supervisor to have
Body, customer, door supervisor. Well, yes.
When the conflict has escalated and you physically intervene in a safe manner.
So physical intervene?
Or not
With your boss?
like I'll say restrain if anything, or what's the right
Restrain
word?
you?
Immobilize.
Immobilize.
Yeah.
Yes, you are giving me the terms. Right? You get it there, yes?
So when you have to use physical contact to manage or de-escalate or diffuse a situation.
When you have to use physical contact to de-escalate or diffuse situation, yes? Yes? When you have to use reasonable force, yes?
I think basically is that the appearance of you,
Yes?
either in the front or inside the, let's say, bar or whatever,
Yeah?
give them, so that they cannot do anything which is not reasonable, as your presence will let them do. This is somebody's body here.
All right.
In terms of misbehaving or get drunk and attacking anybody or passing insult.
Yes? Use of your presence to deter,
People.
a behavior that is not acceptable.
Yeah.
All right? Any more trial? Okay.
Is to limit another person's movement.
Okay. You must be reading something there.
No, I'm saying.
All right now. Yes? Well, Ahmed, could you please take that off your face, please? Are you all right? All right. I want everybody to participate here and take note when you need to. Right? It's very good. This is a kind of training that will not only help you while you're at work, it will also help you privately on your own life. You know how to handle situation. The conflict management techniques comes in, the physical intervention techniques comes in. Right? Now, physical intervention is the use of direct or indirect force. Direct or indirect force to restrict someone's movement. The use of direct or indirect force to restrict someone's movement. If you can put that down, so if you're struggling to see, you can just reduce that. Or is it clear enough? Yeah.
Yes. And the window will close
So close the window.
like scroll.
Right. Now, this class is going to be teaching you more about physical intervention. What is physical intervention? What are the various techniques? What are the implications of using physical intervention? And what are the risks? Anything in this life comes with risk, right? If you drink water and you take too much water, you can get in trouble with it, yeah? So, when you are using physical intervention, what are the risks associated with it? Right? Then, how do we reduce this risk? We all know what risk is called. Do we all know it? Risk. We hear it every time. Risk, risk. You're taking a risk. You're doing this. Do you know it? Can somebody tell me what a risk is?
I can be. So we use chance.
Taking a chance. Anybody that can give me a definition of it? Anyway, risk. Huh?
Possible effect of action.
Possible effect of action. Well,
A decision which involves potential harm, but also potential reward.
yeah, a decision that involves potential harm. Yeah, I will take that. A risk is the likelihood of a hazard causing injury or death. Hazard is anything that can cause harm or injury.
If you get the likelihood or
So the likelihood of that hazard to cause injury or death is what you call risk. Right? Now, physical intervention, because you have to use force, direct or indirect force, it comes with a risk. Right? Because if it is not properly used, it can lead to injury or it can lead to death. Right?
Yes.
Now, how do we reduce this risk? We have agreed that there could be instances when we don't have any option. We use physical intervention. And when we use it, we need to reduce the risk. So I'm going to be talking about those risks, and we are going to be talking what are the things you need to do to reduce them. Does that make sense? Again, we are going to be talking about how you use physical intervention skills to protect yourself and others. It's not just you, but others around you. Don't forget, part of our primary duty, responsibility, is to protect ourselves and people around us. So when we're using these skills, we need to use it in such a way that we're protecting ourselves and others around us. Any question? All right. Now, the final one is going to be the practical aspect, where I'm going to be showing you some non-pain compliance techniques where you have a customer, maybe the customer is drunk or for whatever reason is not able to move or is tired or is sick. You can use some techniques, to get them out of the place without having to harm them, right? There are also other techniques that you're going to be using for difficult customers that are not willing to leave. So in that case, you don't have any choice other to use those skills. So the skills, I know it's getting late now, we'll probably be doing that tomorrow, those techniques, right? Going forward, any question with that, please? Do you want to write this down? Physical intervention is the use of direct or indirect force, bodily, physical, or mechanical, to limit another person's movement. To limit another person's movement. Your joining instruction, they ought to have sent some slides with it. Yeah? Where did you get that slide? From the joining instruction.
Oh yeah, something.
Yeah, so did you check it? Do you know you have it? Did you read it? No. You did it. Did you read it? The slides that came with the joining instruction. You didn't read it. Right? Now, who read the joining instructions? Those slides about what you should expect in the training. How many people read it? How many people read it?
I read it, but
I press
briefly, just briefly, not completely.
Just briefly. Okay. All right. Because all these you have them. Okay, moving on, guys. Now, we're going to be talking about non-restrictive, and non-aggressive techniques. We will also be talking about low-level and non-pain compliance. These are the different techniques that comes with physical intervention, right? Non-restrictive, non-aggressive, low level, and non-pain compliant. Non-restrictive techniques includes your presence. If I stand in this way, do you think somebody coming and has anything dodgy to do, or maybe he's having drink or drugs? Do you think if I stand like this, it will make a difference? It won't?
Possibly.
You're coming to the door and I'm standing this way. Do you think it will make a difference to some people coming?
Yeah, they'll think twice.
Yeah.
Your presence.
To some extent, because the danger is that if you are in the permanent place and there's some shoplifter or those who come to take something or whatever, once they see you, they always, even before you see them, they are watching you.
Yes.
What,
That's
if
the
he
only-
wasn't there at all, everybody would be doing it.
No, I'm just giving it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not correct.
So your presence
He said,
could
the
deter some bad behaviors. Amen. I hope you're not sleeping. Are you fit? Is everything okay? You're very tired. You worked last night? You worked last night? Anytime you want to have a stroke, let me know. You want to get up, it's better you are in class and listen than being in class and be sleeping. Yeah? Now, the directions, verbal and non-verbal, touching, prompting, guiding, and disengaging. All these techniques, we're going to be talking about it. Yeah? Restrictive. That's when you're talking of escorting, seclusion, physical containment, full restraints, and mechanical restraints. Is there anybody who doesn't understand the meaning of all this?
What's mechanical?
You know, like locks, ain't it? Like arm locks and stuff.
When you put somebody at the back, lock the hand up, put some chain in, that's mechanical, but we're not allowed. The law of this country does not allow us to do that. Yes, but it's a form of physical intervention. Yeah, it's a restricted one. You're restricting the person to a particular place, right? Now, all this method, either non-restrictive, restrictive, non-compliant. Now, what do you think will happen if you use these techniques inappropriately?
Possibly go to court.
Please, if you just know the answer, signify I'll call you, yeah? Yes?
It will have legal implications. On
Legal implications, yes?
injury.
Injury, yes? Conflict, yes? More?
Someone can die.
Someone can die, yes?
Lose your job.
Lose your job? What about this? Your license? Lose your license? Put the family in trouble? Because as a man or as a woman, if you're operating a joint force, you don't bring in money, trouble is going to start. Right? Yes. You lose income because you lose your license. So these are things that could happen when you don't use the right force or you use the force appropriately. And that is why physical intervention should be used as a last resort. Remember, you were taught conflict management techniques, right? You only resort to physical intervention when all those other techniques have failed. However, using it has to be justified, right? It has to be reasonable, right? It has to be reasonable. You cannot just say because you know how to restrain someone, then anybody that comes in, oh, you're not listening to me. Oh, you put him down. No. You need to be able to justify it. Don't forget, your license, this license is under the Licensing Act 2003. And we are under legal obligation to do all that is expected of us. People wonder, why do I need 6 days to do this course? First of all, you started with first aid. I will tell you the relevance of it to this class, to this course. Yes? You did fire awareness, right? You did conflict management. Now you are doing physical, right? All this you will be using. If you use any physical techniques and the subject starts displaying some medical concern, you should be able to take charge before the arrival of the emergency services. That's the essence of you doing first aid. We all know what happened in America, United States of America, George Floyd. Yes? They were restraining, the police were restraining George Floyd. And at a point, he was struggling to breathe. And he shouted, I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe. At that point, the policemen supposed to release him, but they did not. But what happened? He died. That's the kind of thing we are talking here. So SIA didn't just introduce all these courses. They introduced it because they want you to learn about using force directly or indirectly and using it appropriately. And when you know use it appropriately, what will happen to you? So when you know what is going to happen as a consequence, you will be guided. Is that right? We've mentioned this, so there's no point recapping again. This all what will happen if you don't use it right. Make the situation what? Increase conflict, team's reputation. They know your club, they know your venue. Oh, those guys there, they are terrible. Any little thing, they are on you. Any little thing, they are on you. Nobody wants to come. Yeah? Complaints, disciplinary, civil actions, criminal proceeding, results, loss of SI license, injury or death. Yeah? Anybody struggling with that? Anybody have problem with that? Do you all understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you should only use physical intervention as a last resort. You've exhausted all options, right? Normally, you only use it to protect someone from a danger or a dangerous situation, break away or disengage from harmful contact, separate someone from a trigger, which is likely to set off a cause of event. Anybody who doesn't understand what I have been talking about, please?
It is a little bit more.
Okay?
I've come to across a situation I had a lot that they say somebody threw a knife and the
Can you talk a little bit louder so that the class can hear you?
Okay. There was a customer who was going and he could hold a knife and there was a fight. So he threw the knife and the person defended himself. So the victim was able to defend and the crime get entry. This situation, what is going to happen? Is it, I did not get it what was going, but they blame the security officer.
Yeah.
That he had caused a harm to the person who was holding the knife.
They blame me.
Yeah, they blame him that the person who was holding the knife,
Yeah.
he caused a harm to him, and he was defending himself.
Okay, we're going to get there when you have to use physical intervention, when you have to use force, direct or indirectly, right? And what law backs it. We're going to get there, right? Any other question? Now, the legal implications, the authority of which you are empowered as a security operative to use force comes from the Licensing Act 2003, which established this. Self-defense, common law. If your life is in danger, under common law, you have a right to protect yourself. Right? You have a right to protect yourself. However, if I want to fight him now, look up everywhere. Everybody, please look here. If I want to fight him now, and I'm holding this, right? I'm threatening him with this. I'm possibly scratching with this is pencil, right? Yes? And in return, for him to defend himself, he went to pick up sledgehammer. Right? This is what I've used to scratch him, and in return to defend himself, claiming self-defense, he's going to take a sledgehammer and hit me with a sledgehammer. Yeah? Tell me, is that a self-defense or you want to kill somebody? Yeah? You want to kill somebody? Because that force is not reasonable. Are you getting the point here? Yes, the law allows you on self-defense, common law, yeah, to protect yourself. But whatever force you need to use has to be reasonable and proportionate. Can you get the example? Yes, question?
My mom was telling me a story the other day. In Egypt, there was a 15-year-old girl, and she was in a cab, and the cab driver started going into a quiet side road where there was no one could see them. And then he said, "Get out," and she was like, "No, I refuse to get out. Why did you bring me out?" And he forced her to get out, and he got a knife. And it was cutting her, up.
Cutting the girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
cutting her arms and stuff. And then I think she was defending herself, and then the guy wanted to try to attack her, and she ended up grabbing the knife, reversing it, and stabbing her.
Yes.
She wanted to just cause him pain so that he could be on the floor and she could escape.
Yeah.
He ended up dying.
The guy.
The guy ended up dying.
Yes.
So then the girl, she handed herself to the police. She said, "This is the knife. I've killed someone." She told them the story, and then they said, "Okay, you're under arrest, whilst we investigate." And then in court, the judge decided that you're free to go. We done with the forensic and whatever, and we found that you're telling the truth. So now you're free to go. And my mom was saying that might not happen here, where they would let her run so easily.
Yes. In this country, there's what you call, there's murder and there's manslaughter. Right? If you're in the court, two things the judge will look at. The legal term is mens rel and annus rel. Mens rel, annus rel. That's outside this course, but just for knowledge sake, because of the question he asked, right? Mens rel and annus rel. You can Google it. The first one is the intention. The second one is the action. The judge will look at your intention, and the judge will look at the action you have taken. And that is why you find out that most times people go to court, people expect them to have 15, 20 years or life sentences. But when the judge looks at this, circumstances surrounding it, they lessen it. So what is the intention of the person, the girl that was, maybe kidnapping or what, and they already, snubbing her, yes, and she now took the, she's done that in self-defense.
Yeah, and she wanted to harm him
Yes.
enough for her to escape.
Yes. So you can see the case. So it all depends on your intention. There was no intention to kill in the first instance, but in the process of you defending yourself, that's it. All right. However, self-defense under common law, all your forces has to be reasonable, has to be proportionate. The case of the pencil and the sledgehammer. Criminal Law Act 1967. That is what you call citizens arrest. Have you heard of that before? Citizens arrest. Arrest. Yeah? Section 3. Now, we talk about trespass. Trespass comes under which law? Is it civil or criminal?
Civil.
Civil? We all agree civil?
Yeah.
Is it civil?
Until there's any damage, yeah.
It's civil. Yes. Trespass is civil. If you find me at the back of your garden, the best you can do is to ask me to go. You cannot shoot me. You cannot injure me. If I refuse, call the police for me. Let the police come and arrest me. But if I come to your property and I come with a gun, that becomes criminal. Right? So, if you see anybody in your club, venue, or bar, for you to ask them to go, you are under civil law. So, you need to handle it in a way that it does not degenerate. Right? You're not authorized to be here, sir. Do you mind if you can leave, sir? You keep talking to them. Yeah? But when it becomes a big issue, right? Involving anything that will harm you, gun, and all that stuff, that's when you can invite the police to step in. However, you need to have an evidence, a proof. Rule of self-defense. If you think your life is in danger, yes, you have every right under the law to defend yourself. Again, it has to be reasonable, proportionate, and you can justify it. Do we have any problem with that?
No.
Yeah, okay. That's section 3 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, citizen arrest. If anybody is committing crime, anything against the law, and you have evidence to show it, or you have a reasonable belief, you can carry out what you call citizen arrest. However, when you are doing that, you also have a duty of care. All right? Whatever you are doing, duty of care. You remember part of your roles and responsibility. Yes, you owe everybody duty of care. Your own safety and safety of others. Very important. All right? If anybody is preventing a breach of peace and saving life, or you want to save someone's life, under that circumstances, you can carry out what you call citizen arrest. Citizens, right? Yes.
You know, if they said that if you believe that honestly there's an imminent danger towards you, you can use self-defense.
Yes.
That's for yourself.
Yes.
What would you call it if I think Muhammad's in imminent danger, so I want to defend him? That's not self-defense. What is that?
That's not self-defense. You are defending him.
So is there a word for that?
If you believe, yes, this person is going to cause danger to this person, and you have, don't forget the word there, reasonable belief. Reasonable belief. When it's a reasonable belief, yes, every other person around you will know that truly this guy is in danger. It's not just you thinking he's in danger. If you are thinking he's in danger, if 2 or 3 people sees the situation, they will know that truly he's in danger. All right? Are you getting my point now? So in that case, you can carry out citizen's arrest. But not because he's your friend, and you think somebody is, maybe,
Could be anyone.
yes, anybody, just talking to him and out of sentiments, emotions. Yes? Because he's your friend, you're doing that. You cannot justify it. Because somebody else will see it as, what is it? The guy hasn't done much. Why are you doing that? Is it because he's your friend? Right?
Sir,
Yes.
I believe to be followed by action.
Before?
Arrest.
Yeah.
Arrest should be followed by action. She was you or she was somebody else. Like, I mean, if you're gonna arrest someone,
The first one,
the arrest itself should be followed by the action.
the first one is self-defense
Like, I mean,
for you.
yeah. Let's just say when I was security on duty in the shopping center, so somebody was trying to kill someone with a hammer.
Yes.
So when I stopped them,
Yes.
because I saw it and because I believe it, I mean it was my job.
You saw it with the hammer.
Yeah.
Yes. Before you do that, first,
Yeah.
your own safety is very important. Yes?
Yeah.
Your safety is important. Because somebody is carrying hammer, and because he wants to hurt somebody there, you don't jeopardize your own safety.
He stole from the shop.
The shop.
He ran to the shop. He stole.
He ran to the shop.
Someone tried to someone is another person.
Yes, and you ran after
I
him.
put him down straight away. I
You-
put him down straight away.
You put him down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hold I was holding him down.
Okay. Did you carry a risk assessment? Did you think
no.
of your own life?
No.
You didn't?
No.
All right. Now, I'll tell you this. Especially for those of you who work in the retail section, you need to be very careful. If you see anybody coming into the store, taking away anything, yes? If you see them picking up something and maybe they are wandering around, you're not sure if they want to pay or something like that, the highest you can do is to get closer to them and tell them, have you paid for this? Please remember to pay for it. Nicely and courteously. Right? If they step out
You're not insured.
of the store, don't follow them. Don't say because you want to impress your boss, your supervisor, you're a superman, you have a, is it 10 pack or 20 pack?
20 pack.
Yeah, you have 20 pack, you want to show that.
have?
Yeah, if you're killed out there, the insurance will not cover you. that thing they have stolen, the store's insurance covers it. But the insurance will not cover your life. And that is when the store owner will say, we did not ask you to do that. So you need to make sure you carry out your duties within the limits of your responsibility. All right?
So how does a citizen arrest, how does it perform? Do you put handcuff on the person?
You are not allowed to put handcuff. Now, that is when you will use physical intervention. I'm going to show you like 10, 11, 12 skills that you can use to restrain someone, to arrest someone without using handcuff. You are not allowed to use handcuff in the UK. Right? Any other question, please? Yes, we can crack on. The use of force must be reasonable, must be necessary. Preemptive strike. You know what that is?
Like, give them a warning.
No,
That's when you suspect that they're gonna strike.
show more about it.
Does it mean that
Yeah.
you give them like a little
Preemptive strike.
Yeah.
You
This
give
guy,
them like a
this
little
guy, a bit like,
light or what?
sorry, I'm using you as a sample every time. Maybe now it's coming and it's holding something. He wants to come and strike me.
Yeah.
Right? Preemptive. Yes? And justification.
So you can apply physical force. Sorry, you can apply physical force against someone before he does it.
That is when you use a force.
Yeah.
When you use a force, it must fall into this category.
It's covered with the law.
Come again?
It's within the law.
It's within the law that whenever you use force,
Yeah.
it must be reasonable,
Yeah.
it must be justifiable, it must be necessary, and it's a preemptive strike.
Yeah. So it's no point waiting until he hits you. Because, you know what I mean.
So you want to wait for him to hit you?
No, I don't know because I was experienced in Ireland.
No.
You know what I mean.
Oh, in
I
Ireland?
need to know.
Yes, in Ireland. Did they tell you somebody's coming to strike you, you should wait?
No, I was using self-defense to protect myself.
That is it. You will use self-defense and be reasonable.
Exactly. Yeah. So the point is, I'm asking this question because some people can set you up, you know, they can provoke you for some action, and then you'll be in support. You know what I mean? They can come up to you and raise their hands. I'm going to hit you, but it's also be setting up.
Okay. Now, if they are setting you up, if you see a situation, I don't want to go back to conflict management now, but part of your techniques that you were taught. Can I have a volunteer, please? One person, come on here. Now, it's coming. Hold out your bottle. I assume that bottle, yeah, is a gun. And it's coming towards me. And it's threatening to hit me. What will you do?
You defend yourself.
That's the point. It depends. I will probably. I wouldn't. Like I mean, if I see somebody's coming in the.
If I have a
like,
gun,
bottle, yeah.
you have to take me out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as a door supervisor, yes.
Self-defense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Run away. Run away and
Oh,
like just smack.
But you see, so basically, when he raises his hand, that's it. That's
Now, okay, now, listen. You raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. No, you raise your hand.
Okay, like for what? For.
No, you just raise your hand like we are getting argument and you want to, like you want to hit me. Don't hit me.
No, no. Okay, this is fine.
Change man, what's the problem? Come on, calm down. What have you done? Anything upsetting you? Why do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? Is anything, anybody upset you? Gents, excuse me, please. I need all attention here. I'm not going to repeat my talk. Is there a reason why? Now, don't forget, the employment law, again, allows you as an employee, if you consider a threat to your life, yes, you consider that your life is not safe, there's a threat to your own life, you have every right to leave that work. If somebody is threatening you, maybe you have an issue or something like that, and you sense a threat, under the employment law, you have a right to leave work at that instance, and your employer will not do anything to you. So, come again?
You can sign an agreement before you leave.
It's not, you don't need to sign any agreement. If you perceive a threat to your life, under employment law, you are covered to leave that thing. Right? Okay. If I don't have issue with you, no argy-bargy, I've not known you before, you cannot just come and bring a gun or bring a knife to hurt me. I don't know you. Right? But in the situation you've been having issue of threat and everything, you report to the management and you have a right to leave. But I'm talking of a situation whereby, we're talking, and from there, we started arguing, right? What we expect you as a door supervisor is to use your conflict management techniques to de-escalate the situation, right? You don't allow it to get into you using force. Does that make sense here?
Yes.
But if you have tried all and it has failed, you now use your physical intervention as the last resort. Does that make sense? Thank you.
So sorry. So what physical intervention do you use when you are faced with a gun?
When
You are faced with a gun.
with a gun,
Yeah.
my brother,
Run.
run and hide.
Before they see you.
I am not going to tell you in this class somebody's pointing gun at you and you're still there.
You disappear.
See, that is common sense. That's a common sense question, right?
So SIA taught us one thing: your safety comes first.
Your safety comes
Yeah.
first. Your safety first and the safety of others.
After.
Yeah.
Run.
You don't want to be a dead hero. Oh, he was a good man. He was a good man. No, you don't want to be that. Man, I see a gun, I take a run. I will hide under the.
You should put in the books.
All right. So don't take chances. Great. All physical interventions need to be justified. However, again, the higher the restrictive techniques, the higher the level of injury. So you need to know what is the appropriate technique to use for a particular situation. And that was why I used the example of me using the pencil and it's hitting me with a sledgehammer. Right? A lower attack, a higher response. Okay? Justification. This one is explanation about justification. Do I need to use force at all? Is there anything I can do? My level of response, is it the same thing as what he has done? Yeah? And at what stage did you end up using the force? It has to be at a stage when you have exhausted all other options. All right? We've talked about this as a door supervisor, your responsibility. under the Health and Safety Act 1974. Yeah? Your own, take care of yourself before others, and you take care of your others after you are safe, right? You follow health and safety policies provided at your workplace. You practice safe working habits and obey all safety rules. Use protective equipment properly. Beware of emergency procedures and ensure they are followed when necessary. Right? Now, for all workplaces, your employer will carry out a risk assessment in the first instance. They will be able to know whether that area is known for knife stabbing, gun, stealing, shoplifting, and everything. And that will determine the number of operatives they will put in place, right? In an area whereby they have, cases of knife stabbing everywhere, it is expected that your employer will provide you with a vest, stab vest. Have you all seen that before? A stab vest. You've seen that before? Stab vest.
Okay, stop this.
Yes. Yeah. You know the one they police normally wear?
Yeah, they have to.
Yes. If your employer carries out an assessment, risk assessment, and find out that that area, they stab them a lot, yeah, they will provide that. If they don't, and you know that they have that history, you have a right to demand. All right? This is the employment rights I was telling you. Yes? If your life is in serious threat, serious danger, you have a right. Yeah? Any question? Duty of care at all times. Even if you find a person stealing something from the store, duty of care is still necessary. It's still very important. You are not a judge. You are not a judge. All you need to do is restrain the individual, keep the evidence, right? Write out your details, all the information, and hand them over to the police. You can only be a witness if that person is finally prosecuted. It is not your duty or your right to take the laws into your hand. All right? Now, whenever you use physical intervention, any of the techniques, whenever you use it, you need, part of your duty of care is to make sure you monitor that person, especially when you restrain on the ground. You need to monitor them, you need to communicate with them, you need to make sure they are fine, you need to make sure they are breathing. If they complain at any point, you do what? You leave them. You stop it. Whether they are faking or it's true, as long as they tell you, I cannot breathe, I have pain, I have this, release them. If they go, let them go. Because if you think they are faking and you keep them there, anything happens for them, to them, you lose your license, you will be prosecuted. That is where the duty of care comes in. You need to monitor them. The guys, the police officers, that restrained George Floyd, they are now in jail.
There was even a situation like that in the UK.
Has that been?
Yeah.
It could be.
No, there was a guy, he went to a nightclub and then it was security and police and he ended up, I don't know if he's still alive, but he ended up paralyzed. So, nice fit young man, he ended up paralyzed.
Who hit him?
It was either security guard or police.
It was a security guard.
Either one or the other. It was after a night out.
So what happened to the security guy?
I don't know. Can't remember the rest of it.
Yeah, I bet you he must have been in jail now.
But it was either security guard or police officers, but they were working together.
Yes. You see,
And they
this
snapped his neck.
that is you see, part of the techniques we are going to be showing you tomorrow or later today, I don't know, depending on how far. We are going to be showing you some techniques, right? That if you don't use them properly, that will be issue. Now, if you use them and there is a complaint from the subject, you let go. You let go. The law does not allow you to restrain them until they die. No. You still owe them the duty of care. Right? Even if you find them, they have stolen 10,000 pounds from the store, the highest you do is you restrain them. You are not expected to do anything that will kill them. Alright? Now, when you're monitoring the safety of the subject, you need to be looking for all these signs. High body temperature, exhaustion, confusion, bizarre behavior, extreme fear, high resistance, and abnormal strength. You know, some people, when you're dealing with them, maybe you restrain them to the ground, they tend to have extra energy, and you'll be wondering, this tiny small boy, where's he getting this energy? It could be as a result of one thing or the other. I'm going to be showing you some of the things that you look out for. It could come as a result of drugs, use of medication, that you need to spot. And once you spot all these things, this behavior, they are red flags. They are red flags. Once you see them, you stop. Remember, again, when you restrain someone to the floor or to the ground, the longer it is, the longer the risk of complication. Also, when you restrain someone to the wall, when you restrain them to the wall, push them to the wall, what are you doing? You are contriving the bronchitis. Yes? When you contrive this, it makes breathing to be difficult, and it will result into what is called positional asphyxia. Positional asphyxia, difficulty in breathing. That was what killed George Floyd. So you need to be very, very careful. Now, I've mentioned to you what happens when you use physical intervention. Later we're going to be talking how do we reduce it. We're going to look at the risk. Yes? But now, what are the positive alternatives to physical intervention? Don't forget we mentioned it should be used as a last resort. So, what are the alternatives that you can use without having to resort into physical intervention?
You can switch officers.
Yeah? Come again? Verbal. Yeah, we're going to get there. So they are categorized into two. The primary control and the secondary control. Yes? The primary control are the one provided by your employer, like the health and safety policy, the company's policy, right? Like the CCTV. So those are primary controls. You can use all that to deter people or spell out your policy to the customer, right? The secondary one is when you use your own skill. For instance, your conflict management techniques. Right? Can we see the difference? Primary controls. When you use CCTV, radio, if I'm in danger, I use the radio, call one of my colleagues. Yeah? Risk assessment, you know? Safety policy. What is the arrangement in place? Yes? Access control. If somebody wants to come and is very aggressive, and I have a barrier which is automated, and I'm sitting there and it's talking nicely, will I release it? That's a prevention on its own. So those ones are primary. Now, these are secondary controls. That the use of switching. Do we all know what is meant by switching? We all know switching. The top of class, you should know what is switching. Do we know that?
Yes.
I've mentioned that with my regular class. Yeah? Tell me what is meant by switching. Do you know it? Switching? Changing position. When do you use it?
When you realize that person is acting aggressive.
It's acting aggressive. Yes, good. Yes. Switching.
When your
You don't have idea?
second person.
You have been in the class today, so you are out of it. Yes. You don't know? You?
You change your position and then you realize that I have to talk to you.
Good.
Sir, I have a question. I'm not sure about that, but I was going to ask about switching. How many times it could be done?
Switching.
You know,
You be switching?
yeah, I know. So, you have more than choose on Tuesday. I mean, if choose not enough.
Choose not enough.
If not, it's second security coming up to switch you.
Yeah.
To check hit basically, and it's not enough.
It's enough. I mean, now if you
Yeah.
okay, you want to say something?
Then you can call for a backup.
If you switch and it's not working, don't forget it's taking over from you and it's still not cooperating. You have exhausted all options. You call for backup. Then, in that case, if you need to take him out there, you take him out. But switching is a conflict management technique. For those of you who doesn't know, volunteers, please. 2 volunteers. 2 volunteers.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let them volunteer on top of.
No. Please come. I need another one. Come on, what's happening here? It's just 3 o'clock.
We need a 10-minute break. I think the heat.
No. You hold on. We're gonna have break. We started.
2 hours after.
You know, we just started less than an hour.
No, we didn't. We were back here at 1. We did the test before.
See, I'll give you 10 minutes, but not now. Let me show them. Yeah, we're still on it. We're still on module 1. We're still going module 3. Now, for those of you who doesn't know what switching is all about,
I'm customer.
yeah, he's an aggressive customer. He's coming into the venue, right? And he's a security operative, my colleague. We're working together. He's Cobra 1, he's Cobra 2, in case we're using the radio or whatever name is calling himself, Mr. A and Mr. B. Hello? You alright?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is my drink.
You sure there's no water for me there? Put it there, please.
No, there's
No. That's for my cup. Drinking water, use this. All right. Now, he's a terrible customer here. Yeah, and he wants to come in with his, alcohol on his hand. Now, deal with the situation.
Yes, bro.
Yes, sir. You okay?
Yes, man. Alright.
Yeah. Right. What do you have in this bottle over here?
Yes, man. I got some 2 points of alcohol. Not too much, just a little one. And they have the same thing inside.
Okay, they
What
have
I
it
have is the
inside.
same thing up.
They have it inside my pen, but unfortunately, you can't take this bottle inside. So you'd have to put it down to the side at your own expense, or step to the side and finish it off, please.
I think I will not qualify. I mean, let me see your supervisor.
Listen.
You need to expect at that. So at that point, he's not listening. He's still arguing. Yeah? Now, another phrase comes up. Yes? I switch in. That's switching. Now, see me. The role. Hello, sir. How are you? I can see you've been talking to my colleague. How's everything?
Everything.
All right. What's going on?
I'm not agreeing with one of your colleagues. He just talked to me like they have the same drink inside.
Yes.
The pack.
Yes.
And I have the one here.
Yes.
So the same content.
I know, but it's our company core policy here. Yes? If you look at the wall there, we have a policy. You don't bring in any alcohol from outside here. Unfortunately, that's just the situation. What I can advise you to do is you either step back there, finish it, or you can drop it, but I'm not going to be liable to keep it for you or keep an eye on it. So whichever one you want to do, it's just a policy, sir.
Okay, are you sure that it's not an intimidation that you're
It's not an intimidation, it's for everybody. We don't allow it, it's the company policy, and it's for everybody, sir.
I appreciate that.
All right, thank you very much. Right, guys? Can you see the difference? Yes. Getting, agitated, angry with this person. I come in with my conflict techniques, right? Diffuse the situation. Talk to him, settle. He's happy, I'm happy. That's switching, right? Redirection. Passing the button, seclusion, early intervention, conflict management skills. All these are secondary controls. Anybody who doesn't understand this, please. Yes? Are we good? Yeah? Seclusion. Passing the button. You don't know passing the button.
It's the switching kind of thing.
It's a switching kind of thing. Taking over. Somebody taking over. Yes, I'm talking to you since you don't understand what I'm saying also. Well, I have my colleague here. Maybe you can explain better to him. Yeah? Alright? Are we all clear, please?
Yeah, we clear. Yep.
Yeah. Defensive physical skills. The method you use in the first instance to prevent yourself from getting into any problem. Any skill that you can use. What are the defensive skills you can think of? Like he mentioned, Nicholas mentioned, that if you see somebody with a gun, what will you do? You recognize danger, what will you do? You avoid it. You manage it if you can, and react to it safely. If you cannot react to it safely, don't even go there. Right? Defensive physical skills include risk assessment, calling for support. Your risk assessment first thing is this safe for me? Do I wait for this guy to get here? But it's very unusual for somebody to just come in. If somebody is coming to a venue with a gun, they probably have a target on another person and not you. Yes? But you still have to.
Yeah. Actually, they won't show it.
They will conceal it anyway.
They won't show it.
Communication skill, the way you talk, how you talk to people, it goes a long way. Your stance, your position. Oh, all right. Take a walk and come back. Your position. Now, you want to take a walk too? Volunteer. You volunteer. I want you to volunteer. Come. Now, your stance. I want you to tell me the difference. Which one is better? Yes, what are you talking? What are you talking? I thought you want to fight me. No? You don't want to fight me? I'm ready for you.
You'll be on the floor by then.
Right?
Say that.
Did you see my stand? Somebody is coming aggressively. Yeah? And you're standing like that. He's a good aggressor. Sit down. Sit down. Go and put it down. He's a good aggressor. Now, we're gonna do two different signs now. Right? Come up. Yes, what are you doing? Why are you here? Why are you coming like that? Why are you coming like that? What are you doing? Nothing. Nothing? Well, he's a good man, that's why he said nothing. Yes? For somebody who is, troublesome. Now, being aggressive. Being aggressive.
Which one?
Yes,
Which one?
hello.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, chill. What's the matter?
You know what I mean?
I have to stop you. We just have a
Step in.
procedure. We just have a procedure.
in.
Yeah. I'll let
Okay,
you
your
in.
procedure
But-
step in.
but we have a policy in place. Yes. So do you mind searching before you go in?
Sure, you say, go.
Right? If you can do this for me. Alright? My position. I've come with peace. Right? This one, I've come to fight. Your stance matters. The body language goes a long way. Alright? Anybody who doesn't understand this, barriers, boundaries, we all know that. Okay? Shall we move on? Physical intervention skills enable you to protect yourself, protect others, and escort people away from incidents. Protect yourself, protect others, escort people away from incidents using low level of force. Low level of force at all time. Guides, deflection, block, escorting, holds, disengagement techniques, restraints. These are all the skills. But we have different types, which I'm going to be talking about later in the day or tomorrow. All right? You can guide one. Part of the techniques, you hold someone like this. I'm going to be showing you, but just for demonstration, you hold them on the elbow. So, I know you're tired now, so we'll see tomorrow. This one is compliant, so I don't need to disengage. Yes? I just say bye bye.
Intervention technique.
Yes, yes.
Ah.
But when it's a maybe drunk, not compliant, who doesn't want to go, yeah? You hold them this way. You hold them by their wrist. He's drunk, you know? So you take them out, get back. It's engagement. Right? We're going to be talking about it. Thank you. And the restraint. You all know what is meant by restraint. Yeah? You know what they meant by restraint? Restraining somebody on the floor. Now, question. What's the trespass? I didn't call you. What's the trespass? Yes, our lady. Which of these? On each of these, match the statements. You have the options. Which number fits in trespass? If you know it, just raise up your hand. Yes, I've called that, but which number suits in? You.
3.
Number 3. Yes, trespass is being on someone else's property without consent. Do we all agree? Okay, great. Now, using physical intervention incorrectly can lead to, if you know it, just raise up your hand, please.
Oh, not me.
Captain,
Oh, criminal proceedings.
criminal proceeding, do we agree with that? Then physical intervention should be only used. If you know it, raise up your hand, please. Michael, right? Richard. Number 5, what does 5 say? Should only be used as a last resort. Do we all agree with that? Any questions?
Wait, I'm so confused.
What are you confused with?
Oh, so nothing.
Nothing? You're not confused now. You have been de-confused, right?
I just, the word is too much to bring up now.
Okay. All right. Anybody who doesn't understand this, we're good to go. Somebody tell me, what is physical intervention?
Direct.
No. Raise up your hand first. Raise up your hand if you know it. I will assume everybody knows it, so I expect everybody to raise their hands up. Will you raise your hand up and tell me? Yes?
Physical intervention is a situation whereby you use indirect or direct situation of physical body or mechanical system.
You need that indirect or indirect force.
Direct force.
No situation. Yeah? Do we all agree with that?
Yeah.
The use of direct or indirect force, bodily, physically, or mechanical, to limit another person's movement. Yes? Identify positive alternatives to physical intervention. If you know it, just raise up your hand. Yes?
What's it called again when you just make your presence known?
I'm asking you a question, you're asking me a question back.
Yeah, well, I'm answering it with a question, but I just forgot the name of it. Making your presence known.
I just want to hear 2 things.
Switching.
Yeah, switching, yeah, that's fine. But what are the key to when you are switching? What are you using?
Conflict management.
Conflict management.
Yeah, under what does that fall in?
Primary and secondary.
Yeah, who is that? Who said that? Okay, good boy. Yeah, do we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, primary and secondary control. Yeah? Now, that's the end of that module. After 5 minutes, walk around. I will come back. Or I'll give you 10 minutes. Yeah? By 3:15.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes walk around.
15.
Coffee. No.
I
I'll give
heard
you 10 minutes.
15. Which one?
No, come back 3:15. Come back 3:15.
That's not
By the time I get downstairs, it's going to be 10 minutes already.